Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning, depending on where you're watching from. My name is Olufunke, and I am very excited to have you on Hope series with Olufunke. If you're just watching or you're just joining, you're just seeing this episode of Hope series. My name is Olufunke, and this is Hope series where I invite different personality on this show to inspire people, to inspire us with their stories about what they do and about different topics about how we can move, about not giving up on our dreams, what we believe in, what we do. And on this episode, I have somebody amazing on this channel, on this episode today. And her name is Ayomide Abidoye, Pastor Ayomide Abidoye. So I'm so excited to have her on this episode of Hope series. And today we have an amazing topic that we're going to be, discussing today. And I can't wait for you to meet this my amazing guest. I'm going to bring in her in now. Thank you so much. If you are just joining, thank you. Sit down because today is really going to be a wonderful day. Seriously, today's conversation is something that I'm really very interested that I have interest in. And if you are joining for the first time, believe me, trust me, you are going to be really, enjoy this session because this person that I'm bringing in, I've watched several of her videos. I was telling her this evening that I've watched several of her videos, and she was like, she couldn't believe it. And even what she does personally actually, encourages me. And anytime I see her posting, I feel like this lady again, this woman again. So I'll just bring her in now because of our time, so we can go into the full discussion.
Hello, good evening. Good afternoon, sorry.
Hi. Okay. Everyone, this is my guest for today. Her name is Ayomide Abidoye, and we have an interesting topic that we'll be, discussing. I'm going to be asking her several questions, but before we really dive into the questions I have for her today, she's going to just tell us a brief about her, what she does, and everything about her. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Olufunke, for having me. I'm so delighted to be here. Welcome, everyone. I am very hopeful and I'm very optimistic about this evening's conversation. My name is Ayomide Abidoye, and I am a coach at Recalibration HQ. What we are in about is that people are able to discover their true identity beyond the labels. They're able to build systems that can help execution their normal way of life. They're able to build systems that help them see tangible results aside romanticizing around their identity and their call. Right. I'm also a pastor, a panel of grace, and working on ensuring that people person of Jesus and the power of his mind. I'm a mom and a wife. Basically, that's all about me, right? That there is to know. Thank you so much, Olufunke. I'm so excited.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so you talked about recalibrations, and today's topic that we have today is stepping boldly into your purpose. Stepping boldly into your purpose. What does that topic means to you, and how can you just give us a little about the topic? And
Okay. So one of the things that I have come to realize is that when it comes to being purposeful, you have to be bold about it. There's no coward purposeful person. There's no timid purposeful person. It's either you are bold about your purpose or you are not there with what God wants you to do. So some of the times when we feel like we're walking in purpose, the things that God will ask us to do and the things that God will set before us are things that we are usually scared to do. And it's not peculiar to us. It's always been that way. Whenever God will commit to a person anything to do, whenever God will give you a burning vision, these are things that you will feel like you are the most incapable person to do, to execute. But then the switch and what you need to know about being purposeful is that regardless of that feeling, you have to rise up to that call, and you have to become that person, right? That can now walk in that dimension, that can now produce tangible result, that can now execute beyond who you think you used to be. And that's the essence of what now you need to stand but now in order and to run with an agenda, you have to become a normal person. And usually that transitioning is not comfortable, but it's very necessary. So when you are looking to walk in purpose, you have to be ready to move from what you used to be, when you used to be someone that was very comfortable with everything that was happening, to someone who is going to be able to change your relationships, change your mindset, change your lifestyle, right? And change the way you move with execution. I am a very big fan of brutal execution. I believe that many people are behind when it comes to their purpose because they have not mastered execution. And I posted recently, I don't know if you saw it, Olufunke. I said that when you are not a master of brutal execution, you will disobey God unintentionally. It looks like you're trying to do something that God has said to you to do, but then you are just romanticizing, you're just wallowing in laziness, in complacency. Sometimes it's not the fact that you're not executing, but you're not executing excellently. And that's also something, right? So when it comes to working in purpose, you have to know that the decision to be purposeful and the decision to be someone who is lackadaisical about the things that God is placing in your heart is a declaration of war. And so many things would battle with you as you progress with that decision every single day you wake up. So every day you wake up is an opportunity to do something that moves you closer to the actualization of the vision that God has given to you. And you make that choices with your daily decisions, with your time management. I know it doesn't sound like what everyone wants to hear about purpose, but as little as your time management, as little as your ability to map your energy cycles, they determine what your output can be with respect to your purpose. And that's all I feel about being, purposeful, working in purpose generally as it is.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll move to the next question, and it says, can you just give us a little definition about purpose?
Okay. When you talk about purpose, you're talking about something that is the core reason of your existence. So there's a misconception. People feel like their skill is their purpose or their passion is their purpose. Okay, what keeps you? You know, when people talk about purpose, the first thing they talk about is, oh, what keeps you awake? That's your passion. That's something that your heart burns for, and it's okay. People also feel like their skill is their purpose. Oh, I can sing, so I'm called into singing ministry. That's my purpose. When you ask them their purpose, they're giving you their skills as their purpose, and that's very wrong. Now, your purpose is the reason why you have that skill and that passion. Is the outcome, and that's why execution for the result matters. Your purpose is the outcome of what your passion and your skill can bet, right? So I am very passionate about children, but I'm very skilled when it comes to handling them. I am not easily irritated with toddlers. That's a skill. And your passion is something that you would merge with your skill to be able to do what God wants you to do with children. And that's purpose. And usually purpose is usually born out of pain. I want you to just take a track record of the things that your heart burns for. Many of the times, there are things that you've experienced that you found really painful. There are things that you've experienced and you feel like, no, I don't want someone else to experience it. And God would usually commit to you something that you have a passion for, something that your heart burns for, so that you can tend to it with that passion. And I know there is a very thin line between purpose. When people talk about purpose like, oh, if purpose is something you enjoy, you always enjoy doing purpose. Jesus didn't enjoy dying on the cross. So the sometimes the things that you have to do that makes you a purposeful person is not convenient. It is commanded.
Mm.
And because of your passion for God, you have to there's an hierarchy. It's like you're coming into purpose as a newbie, you will enjoy it. As you grow in God, God will place a demand on you to do things that are purely sacrificial. They are not things that you enjoy. There are things that you will even do and you will cry about, but you have to do them regardless. And I feel like that's the place where everyone needs to come into as someone who is purposeful. You need to come into a place where you're living because you are commanded to do something. And You know, when I talk to people about brutal, okay, so we held a conference. I'm so sorry for digression. We held a conference yesterday, and I had to call people after the conference. I was like, okay, now the conference is a success. We can laugh. But when we were planning the conference, I was macho woman. You know, my point was we have to do it. We don't just have to do it. We have to do it really well, and that's one thing that people need to come into realization of. You know, purpose is romanticized. Purpose, oh, purpose. Purpose is the essence why we live, but then we should place more priority on ensuring that we're able to execute many of the things that we want to do in line with our assignments in fragments that makes up the whole purpose. Assignments in fragments that God will give us seasons in and out. So that's what I can say about purpose.
Thank you very much. And if there is a point that I put down here from what you just said, is that the things you have to do to achieve your purpose, sometimes it's not always convenient. And so, every one of us, we have to be ready to be intentional about our purpose. That thing that the Lord has laid in our heart, we have to be intentional about it. So, I'm going to be moving to the next question, which says that what are the, I mean, common fears people face when stepping into purpose. Now, one of the things I discover is sometimes it's not that we don't know what God has placed in our heart to do, or what I'm meant to do, or my passion, my goals, and everything I'm supposed to achieve. Sometimes that's not the problem. And I believe sometimes the problem is stepping into it. Like, what do I need to do? How do I, those fears, what are the fears? And what do I need to do, to achieve in step? Because if you ask me, probably about 80% of people living should probably know what they are meant to do, or we know what they are meant to do in life, or what their purpose is, what they want to achieve. You understand what I'm saying? So now, what are the fears? Sometimes they are just scared to take that step. So what are the fears that you think you've, over the years, identifies, and the things we can do to step boldly into achieving our purpose?
Okay, thank you very much. I feel like one of the many struggles people have is analysis paralysis, and that's when people are over researching, yeah, over planning. They're just trying to ensure that everything is good and it's
Please,
there's
please,
a
can you come? Please, can you come again, please? Because
okay.
I love that point. And
Why
yeah,
why people are stuck with just discovering their purpose and not stepping into it is because they have
okay,
paralysis. So
okay.
you are paralyzed by your analysis. That's just where you like you are always researching. After searching 10 ways to do this thing and do it
Hmm.
successfully, saying, okay, I'm going to do it. You will go again and say, okay, give me 5 more ways I can do it in a way that everyone will like. And I feel like we have to detach from sometimes I understand results are good. I am a very keen person on result. I believe in tangible result, but then I am also more attuned to the process. So when we understand that as much as results are important, my loyalty to the process, I am showing up because my vision demands a woman to show up for it, not because I want to do it in a way people will see. So that changes the
Hmm.
perspective. I'm showing up because I feel like this vision is weighty enough. It demands a woman who can commit to it, and that's the process. That's the process I am going to be committing to. That will be betting the result that will change lives. My focus and my goal is not to do is not just to jump into the result in a way that, oh, people now start clapping for me, and people have to be weaned off people approval, people pleasing. You know, that's one of the reasons why people are stuck. How will I do it in a way that this person will not say I'm copying her? How will I do it in a way that this person will not say that I'm too loud, I'm too extravagant? You have to be you have to be okay with being different. And that's the reason
Hmm.
why some people have not stepped into their purpose. They are scared of, oh, I want to do it in a way, but I feel like someone's going to feel bad about it. And look, you have to be okay with living for the audience of one. I have come to a realization that my purpose is definitely impacting people, but it is as unto the Lord. So God is in fact, I am living as though God is my only audience. So whatever I am doing in line with purpose, as far as it is pleasing to God, God is my only audience. Even if it is in the professional line or in place that has to do with religion and spirituality, God is still my only audience. So I'm gonna keep doing it as unto the Lord, not as people who didn't feel good and okay. So I am not stuck by thinking about their expectations. I'm not stuck by thinking about their reactions. I am able to commit to it because I am faithful to one person, and that's God. And that wins you off analysis paralysis. That wins you off people pleasing. That helps you to commit to a system that makes your results outstanding. And one of the things that people need to know is that many times you have to do it afraid. Many of the people you are applauding and many of the people that you are cheering on are doing it afraid. And doing it afraid is okay, but doing it with God is, it's just is the joke card. When you're doing it afraid, no one may know if you're doing it with God. I think I am not against you doing it afraid. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. I am very keen about how much of God you're having in your processes and in your systems. So don't let your fears keep you stuck. Basically, don't let your analysis paralysis. Will they like it? Will they not like it? Am I going to sound fine? And you have to know that when you're setting out, you will always get better. If you don't set out now, you will know the areas you need to improve in. So as you progress, as you move on, then you can, okay, this is what I have to work on, this is what, but then if you keep writing about the things you want to work on, you would never know how much you need to work on the things that you think you need to work on, as much as when you see yourself doing it. That's when you know, okay, I think I laugh too much. I think I am not firm. I think I'm not committed to discipline as much as I should. I think I don't have the right team for this. I think I need to get more skilled people. That's when you need that's it's on the field you really know what you need to do as compared to writing and writing. So if there's anything that keeps you stuck, I think is analysis paralysis, people pleasing, and you need to win yourself off that by understanding that your vision first unto God. That vision demands a woman, a man who is committed to it with a process that is pleasing unto God, with a process where you can do it and you can feel the satisfaction, even if no one likes your post, even if no one claps for you, even if no one comes to buy your course, even if no one says, "Oh, thank you for helping my child with this," even if no one gives you an accolade as unto the Lord. And I think that way people will get unstuck if they begin to have that mindset. Thank you, Lufunke. Are you here?
Yes, I am. Thank you very much. And if there's one thing, if you're just joining this Hope series session, this is a very interesting conversation with Hayo. And she's one of the pastor, uh, and she's a pastor and she's a founder of Recalibrate. Am I correct, please?
Yes, recalibration HQ.
Okay. And one of the things we were talking about stepping boldly into your purpose, and one of the things she has said, we've been able to establish what purpose is, and we've talked about things that can actually scare you. We discovered that now is the problem most times is not that people don't actually know their purpose, goals, or what they are meant to do, but the problem is the fact that they are being scared to step in. And if there's something she said that I'm really holding on to very well is the fact that you want to please everyone. You want to please everyone. And aside that, one of the things that can actually makes you not to step into that purpose is the fact that you are scared that people are already doing it. And I think these things actually happen to most of us because probably your friend is doing it and you feel like, I think this is not what is meant for me. I don't think I can launch this. I don't think I can do that. And there's one thing I discover, is that if God lays something in your heart to do and you are taking so much time, you are dragging, you are doing this, you are doing that, before you know it, somebody else
Yes.
somebody else is doing that same thing. And then you will be shocked the way you are supposed to do it, the way everything, and you feel like this is my idea, this is it. So I'm trying to relate to the fact that you said, you don't have to please people, waiting too long, and you just want to, you don't have to be. One of the things I believe is you don't have to wait for it to be perfect. Like you have enough fund, enough connections, enough days. And if there's something she said also is about the fact that you are showing up every day. We keep showing up, and I am not better, but because I keep showing up, I keep doing this, I keep doing that. Gradually, I tend to get feedbacks. Okay, you need to do it like this. You need to do it like this. Okay, the designs needs to be better. everything. So before you know it, I'm getting better, I'm getting better, I'm getting better. And that is what, sticking to your purpose and showing up at the right time. That is what it's meant. So I'm going to ask you the next question, and which is, what habits, as in, now I know that the barriers that can actually makes me not to discover, I mean, to actually fulfill my purpose, to step into that purpose. I know my purpose now, and I know the barriers is the fact that I have to, stop trying to please people. Just do my own way. Just do it the way I want it to be doing. I want it done. Then now, what are the habits I need to, put on? What are the habits? What are the things I need to do?
Okay, thank you. So first, I'm going to talk about your mapping your energy cycle. So, and then I'm going to go ahead to habits. The reason I'm saying this is because some people are not lazy; they just morning. For someone like me, I need to wake up
I think that's a network, I think.
I am
And I
known.
hope,
If you want
oh,
to see me
okay.
preparing my
So, hello, Hayo. Okay, so it's hung, so we didn't actually hear anything. So you might need to start again, please. You might need to start
can you
again,
hear
please.
me?
Now, yes, we can now.
It's very important. Okay, thank you. I'm back. So it's very important for you to understand your energy cycles. That way, you're able to know when you're at your optimum best, and then you can commit to the habits that enhances your productivity. And I actually have a quiz for that, for helping individuals understand their energy cycles. But more to it, I'm going to say your habits are systems primarily. They are systems that are automated for you to get results. So if you have a purpose, come out with come up with action plans. Now there's, no matter how no matter how large you think your purpose is, no matter how magnanimous you think your purpose is, you should have action steps that you take to ensure that you are able to hit the target. So break it down. Okay, today, to move me closer to my purpose, I have to call 10 people, I have to pray with them, I have to call 10 people, I have to teach them something, I have to do this, I have to, some of you, to move closer to your purpose, you may have to get a certification. And so when you have tracked all of these things, then you realize that you are able to incorporate them into your to-do list. Look, I said that brutal execution is a thing. When you use your to-do list, don't use it like every other person is using it. Set alarms. Let these alarms remind you. I used to think about something when we were in primary school, secondary school, especially in Nigeria. There's the trend of being regulated by periods, usually a 40-minute period. And no matter what you're doing, when your 40-minute period is over, you need to move to another thing. And I think the problem with us adults is that we are, I don't want to say abusing freedom, but we are not putting it to the best use sometimes, where we are not able to schedule our time to do certain things we have to do to get the kind of result we want to get. And there's just a lot of distraction. For you to ensure that you are able to commit to what's on your to-do list with your alarm, you have to be brutal. See, it's your life, it's your destiny, it's your purpose, it's your assignment. Some of you have to learn how to use your DND, you have to learn how to use your silent mode, you have to learn how to put your phone off, you have to learn how to circumcise your heart from pleasing people, parties you don't have to go to, programs you don't have to be at, friends you don't have to entertain, conversations you don't have to be in. It is that brutal, and you have to learn to commit to what is on your schedule. If it's not my schedule, I may try to squeeze out time if it's something I must do. But if it's not something I must do, then I'm just going to win it off. And it's something that has a lot to do with not pleasing people. You just have to detach yourself from the idea of wanting to please people, so that you can face your life and face your race. So one of the habits you need to have is breaking down those goals, into systems. Look, I'm not the kind of person that will say, okay, so sleep at 9, wake up at 8. No, when you map your energy cycles, you will know when you need to sleep. You will know when you need to wake up. You will know how to work around your to-do list. Okay, I have to set my creative tasks at night. I have to set them in the morning. I have to set things I have to do when it comes to interacting with people during the day. And these things are with respect to your seasons in life. So these are habits you need to, you need to have, you need to adapt. Discipline is important. It is brutal. You have to be brutal about it. I'm facing my lane. I'm doing what I have to do, and I am very keen on getting results and getting fine results. And I think that's a habit many people need to have. Complacency is a thing in our world today, and there's war. I'm part of those that are waging war against complacency and just doing things shabbily. You have to ensure that you go the extra mile. And sometimes you always have to be the person who is learning to do things in a better way. And it requires a stretch. Sometimes you're up, you're watching YouTube. That's a university on its own. You're watching YouTube videos on how to improve without having to pay a dime to any coach to teach you anything. Now, look, it's a mindset where I am never getting to. I can't get to a place and feel like, oh, now I've arrived. There's always more to, you understand, okay? There's always more to get. There's always more to do. So that mindset is what drives you, where you can achieve, you can achieve a result, and then you feel like, okay, now this is fine, but I want to really do more. It's a software. It's an engine, do you understand? It's a software. It just has to be in your head, and it regulates how you manage your time and the kind of things that you pay attention to. I think that's basically the bedrock of every other habit that you choose to build in line with your assignment.
Thank you very much. I have learned a lot personally. I need to my alarm, my stuff. I need to I need to make sure that I really I'm intentional about those things. And I think it actually takes more being more intentional. It's like be more intentional about those things and see that this is your purpose.
Yeah.
You just have to face it. You just have to do it. You just have to do it. Okay, I'm going to be asking you the last question.
Okay.
Okay, so to everyone out there, I just want you to, pour out because I know probably you've prepared and I've not touched that area you want to talk.
Oh,
I know, right? So so
no,
I want you to pour your ass, like to pour. Like as if I'm not here. I want you to
no.
pour your yes. I want you to pour your art, because of our time. So I want you to pour your art and whatever things still on this topic, whatever things you need to tell people out there when it comes to stepping in their purpose. I know this topic is to you is like a kind of something that is driving you like, oh, I told you I saw one of your picture and I saw the changes. I said this woman, she's very intentional. She's very, very intentional. So I want you to pour out your mind when it comes to this topic and just to encourage people out there, no matter how it is that they want to do. It doesn't really have to be big, just gradually. Yeah.
Yes. So I think, like you said, I started from somewhere, and I felt like at the time I was in the dark. It felt like my life was on standstill, and not many people know because I was still showing up. But then I felt like I knew that what I'd envisioned for myself was not the experience that I was having. So, but here's the catch: I've learned that no matter season you're in, the most important thing is doing what God says you should do. And sometimes it's not as obvious as killing Goliath. It's just as is yeah, you're killing Goliath. Everyone is shouting, "Oh, David!" It's not as obvious as that. It's as quiet as feeding a prophet in your house when nobody sees you.
Mhm.
But the most important thing is do what God wants you to do, season in and out. I also want to mention your relationships. The relationships you have, they drive you. They matter a whole lot. If you're in a community where everyone is just on survival mode, survival mode. I'm just gonna wake up today, eat, sleep, and hope I'm able to get a good rest after my work, have children, build houses, have social media.
Mm,
That's survival. You have
mm,
to win of relationships that are keen about survival. So you have to get into circles where you're beginning to talk about, oh, Funke, how's Hope series going? How about what you told me you were going to do? Do you understand? So sometimes
Yeah.
you can stuff. Yeah, a little further when you feel like you're tired. Sometimes I want to sleep. But I've told someone, sometimes I put myself in that situation. I tell someone about a project intentionally because I want to be able to say the next day that, oh, I was able to work on it. So keeping myself accountable with relationships that pushes me is very important. So I don't also go to survival mode and think it's the new normal. No, that's not the new normal. We are on a race and it's an intentional and it's a so it's very important for all of us to know that at times we are going to feel like we're in the dark, we're not doing what everyone is saying and everyone is used to. The most important thing is that you're doing what God says you should do season in and out. And I have to mention that purpose have been attached so much to results, but there's a balance. I am a very result oriented person, but I understand the balance. Now, I'm so sorry. Scripture talks about um purpose as being something that gives God pleasure. Sometimes, what gives God pleasure? You're married. What gives God pleasure? What gives you pleasure? Your spouse pleasure sometimes just having them in the house with you. They are not washing the dishes, they are not doing anything, but you're having a great conversation and you're feeling refreshed.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's God. God just wants you to rest. I know you are trying to do things that you can post online. I know you are trying to do things that you can answer when people say, what are you doing with your life now? Say, I'm with God and I'm enjoying Him. Sometimes you have to be with God enough and rest in Him enough for Him to do some work in you for what He has for you with respect to an assignment. So sometimes you will be on that place where you feel like, okay, why am I just on standstill? It's okay to rest. When you are resting, you are not static. God is doing something, and God is doing that thing because to he wants to launch. God was saying to Elisha, "Oh God, I'm so sorry. I'm delving into the scriptures a lot." So God was saying to Elisha,
Yeah, I passed on,
"Eat." So he was saying to Elisha that eat for Elijah, sorry, that eat for the journey is far. Sometimes you are in a season when God just wants you to eat. He just wants you to listen to people, watch YouTube, pray. He just wants you to worship. And when you're coming, is recovering, is collapsing time for you, right? I feel like someone needs that word, like it's collapsing. You feel like you're on standstill. Just rest, enjoy God, enjoy Him enough to show you the new version of you, so that when you step
Mhm.
out, it's gonna be like people are like, but she wasn't.
Wow.
This
Yeah.
she was when she went
Yeah.
time, but work has happened to you. So you just need to be secure in God. The see the best see the most settling part of my identity is not in being a wife, being a pastor, being a coach, being a mom. If God takes all of that from me, and it's a difficult see, I'm not saying it, I've had pain. So it's a difficult my mom was I don't want to talk. Losing my mom changed me forever. So for me to say that, finding your identity in God, where if you are stripped of everything that all the if you are stripped of the labels, you still feel like you have an identity, you still feel like you are purposeful. It's just finding your rest in God. Just enjoy God. There's no pressure, right? Except
Yeah.
if the target is to you and you have to then be brutal. I'm also going to say that you have to be brutal when you have to be brutal. Okay, so I just think that's the balance. Thank you, Lufunke. I had a great time.
Oh, we are missing you already. It's like we should continue this. Like we are missing you already. We are missing you already.
I
Oh. Okay, so I think let me ask you this final question. Final words
okay.
for everyone, including me. Final words for everybody.
So,
We do.
okay. Okay. Say I believe God is doing anything with everyone. No matter how sometimes it seems like it's not obvious to you, God is doing something in you. Whether you feel like you are off the rails or see, if you feel like you are off the rails, this is my word to you that this is your invitation to be back on track. So God is doing
Yeah.
something with you. That vision, whatever God is doing with you, regardless of how difficult. I said earlier, God is going to give us assignments that looks much difficult than things that we can do. You feel like, no, 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 God, I can't do it. But regardless of what God is saying to you to do, if you believe it, if you believe it, it is possible. You have to believe it to commit to it. And if you can do that, I'm personally waiting to see you up there, and I'm cheering you on already, right? So I believe so strongly in you. Olufunke, I believe in you. I believe so much in what you're doing.
Thank you.
trusting the Lord to help you to have tangible results that would help execution become your normal way
Amen.
of life with God's wisdom.
A-
Thank you.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Pastor. Thank you, Pastor. I think this is the first time we're having someone who is a pastor and keeps praying for us like this. Okay, it's actually good. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate you. We all appreciate you. Even everyone listening to you, definitely, I'm sure they appreciate you. Thank you so much. So, if you are just joining, this is the end of our conversation today of series, and I hope everyone will been able to actually learn one thing or the other. And the topic that we actually discussed today is stepping in boldly into your purpose. And I believe we've been able to actually know the meaning of purpose, the barriers that can hinder every one of us from actually achieving our goals and purpose. One of the barrier is the fact that you are being you know, scared. You are being scared because you don't want people to say, oh, you are copying their creativity, or you don't want your friends to talk. You don't want, people around you to talk. You are being so calm about it. You are being comfortable about it. So that's one of the things she said. And you need to go back and listen to this episode. You need to go back and listen to this episode because personally, I am blessed and I'm sure you will be blessed. Thank you for joining today. I, Romeo Olufunke. Thank you so much for joining. See you next week, Saturday. Thank you so much. Bye.